I just want to let you all know that some of you are coming here for the first time. I know from the list, I can see that some of you are new. So just let me briefly just explain what's happening in the sense that we are going through the Purity Study Circle Guide. There are two guides that the Prashanti Council has asked us to do. One is the Unity Study Circle Guide and Purity Study Circle Guide. So the reason why we started with the Purity Circle World in the context of COVID and everything else that is happening around the world, we felt that if we can focus on our own individual purity and increase our own vibrational frequency in the way in which we practice our sadhana, and thereby contribute to the overall betterment of humanity, I think that's amazing. Now, this is not hypothetical or this is not theoretical, because in the book called Force versus, Force versus Energy, is it? Power, yes, Force versus Power, which is the only book on this planet so far that has actually measured consciousness. And they demonstrated that by literally lifting our consciousness, we have the power to make a difference in the world outside, however small it might be. So this is why we felt that we continuously focus on this study circle and increase the participation of people who are earnest in their sadhana to practice at home, and thereby get more alignment, more peace, more happiness, more joy in their lives. Then technically we can actually help in the situation. Of course, there is lots of people who will get tuned into the television and then listen to all the news that's happening in the circuit, and then slowly get depressed because of the incredible number of statistics that keeps on pouring in terms of the number of people unemployed. It's going into millions now, both in this country, both the overseas and everywhere else. So we continuously get bombarded by this news, people dying. So we will get depressed and we'll get sad and we'll get affected. Then when you go into the altar and then we pray from anxiety, pray from restlessness, the effectiveness of such a prayer will not be as powerful as compared to if we are really genuinely bringing our prayers from the deepermost of our own inner recesses of peace and happiness. So this is why even from the lockdown onwards, I've never watched TV. Oh, I don't want to know. I just am concentrating only on this for the last lockdown, imagining the world to be a ball of, the earth in a ball of light and giving it continuously peace and happiness. And this is something that we can all do collectively in our light meditation technique. So I just want to know, the less of 10 minutes, we want to focus on anybody else who have got any positive things to say, not positive, anything to say with regarding to the last discussion we had in terms of demonstrating the ideals that came by in creating the whole world. Is there any comment anybody want to say? Anybody came out and practiced something? You want to share the success of your practice in this to inspire others? We'll be very happy to hear. Yes, anybody else want to say something? Of course, if you don't have anything to say, it means that you all have done something, and the experience has become so profound that there are no words to express. That could be a positive way of taking positive way of taking the message, which I think I want to take it like that. So that's one. But anyway, if anything comes along, please let me know. So what we're going to do today is to focus on chapter 9. And chapter 9, the first few verses are focusing on service. I want to tell you that even the service activities that we do, the way we are doing service is compared to what is expected is really something that we really need to look at it. And you're going to explore some of these things today. What we have got in our today is that we have invited some people who have done two aspects of service, which is the youth. We are only confining to youth. 4 girls who have gone and done a VIP program, prevention of teenage pregnancies. They will speak, and then 4 others who have gone on to giving food for the poor and the unfortunate. They will also give us some experiences. So this is something that a very beautiful statement which Swami said. And the idea is the worship, what Bhagavan said is that the worship of Jiva, individual being, which is the other name for Seva. Wow. The worship of Jiva is the other name for Seva, can be worthwhile only when the heart is pure. All the various type of service that one may write and talk about are mere empty boasts if the mind of the Seva is not pure. A heart bubbling with Ananda and a mind saturated with love may not do any bit of service, yet that will win much more grace than huge projects undertaken in pride and pomp. Simple as it may sound, and you may just read this whole line and then let it disappear from us and say, yes, I have finished. So again, using the ROSE approach, which is the result-oriented satsang experience approach, where you put the words into reading, reflection, realization. The whole idea is to bring significance into your awareness and integrate this into your personality to develop transformative action. So we put these words, the worship of Jiva, which is the other name for Seva, can be worthwhile only when the heart is pure. So we need to reflect on what this has been said. This is called reflection zone. And we invited our brother, Dr. Nanda, to say, to reflect on this, Nanda, and let us become aware of what this profound statement is really saying. Nanda, are you here? Can you on your mic when you, sorry, the video as well when you speak?
Sairam, dear elders, brothers and sisters, Sureshana,
yes,
and dearest Swami, thank you for this opportunity. Actually, when you approached regarding this purity in service, this chapter that Swami actually spoke about, the worship of Jiva, the individual being, which is the other name of Seva, can be worthwhile only when the heart is pure. This one sentence is enough to blow us into proportionates. When I actually did some reading on this, I actually broke this thing into two segments. So the first segment is going to be the worship of Jiva, is the other name of Seva. What does this actually mean? This, in fact, is a very profound statement by Swami, because the Jiva in this context can be divided into two aspects. So the first aspect is us, the one who is doing the Seva. And the other aspect is the Jiva of the person whom we are doing the Seva to. So these are the two ways that we need to look at the Jiva, as in the Jivatma, or the individual being. So by the seva, selfless service that we perform to other individuals, we are able to realize that we are in worship of the self, the jiva that is within us. So this actually covers the first part of it. Now moving on to the second part of it, that Swami says, the second part of the statement is that the seva can be worthwhile only when the heart is pure. So only when the heart is pure. When we look at this statement, we need to understand the significance of purity. What exactly is purity? How is purity is being depicted? Actually, if you look at it, purity is divided into two. There is internal purity, there is external purity. So when we talk about a seva, the seva has to consist of both this internal purity and the external purity. When we talk about the heart which is pure, that is considered internal purity. So pure heart in this context refers to internal purity. The internal purity is only achieved when our thought, word, and deed are offered to Swami. So we think of Swami, we talk about Swami, and we offer every act as a prasadam to Swami. So this in return becomes a karma yoga. So I would like to give an example here. A fine example is that Shabari, Mother Shabari. So she was an elderly ascetic who served her guru, Madanga Muni. So before entering Samadhi, Madanga Muni actually told Mother Shabari that Lord Rama will pass by the ashram one day. So since then, she started thinking of Lord Rama and dedicated her entire life in Rama Seva. She picks up the fantastic fruit from the forest. She'll taste one by one. The one which is good, she'll keep for Rama. The one which is not so good, she will discard it, or probably she will eat it, you know. So in this way, she was actually practicing for years. She didn't know when Rama was going to come. But one day Rama, when he came, he really enjoyed every bit of it, even though Mother Shabari actually took a bite and kept it there. So Swami says that her action would transform into the highest tapas, highest penance. So now looking back at this phrase, the heart which is pure, there is actually the thought, word and deed which is pure, is worthwhile seva, that when we do that seva to others, we realize the very Jeeva within us, who is the Paramatma. So this is what it means. Now, that is the philosophical part of it, the philosophy of what Swami actually was trying to explain to us. As we have seen the philosophical aspect of the statement, now let us see the practical aspect as to how this can be implemented. See, on the second part of it, a heart bubbling with ananda and a mind saturated with love may do any tiny bit of seva, yet that will win much more grace than the huge projects undertaken in pride and pomp. So a person engaged in a Grama Seva and a person engaged in a cleaning of a center on a weekly basis are equally dear to the Lord. We need to understand this. It is with what attitude that we carry out these activities, this seva that matters. So Swami actually says, God will not ask you when and where you did the seva. He will ask though, with what motive did you do it? What is the intention that prompted you to do that seva? And God only seeks quality of the heart, purity of the mind, and the holiness of the motive. So in this context, we need to understand what is the attitude. So the attitude simply means that we should not be carried away by the ideas of us being inferior to someone or us being superior to someone. And this also shows that we should not show any differences in religion, caste, creed, race, or any sort of that matter. And Swami also says, be unattached to the work, but perform it with utmost sincerity. So Swami actually says these two things which are very important. He says, I did it, and this is mine, is actually poisonous fangs. These are the two poisonous fangs that need to be uprooted. So when we have uprooted these two poisonous fangs, then eventually we will be unattached to the results of the seva. So these are the attitudes that we need to carry. Of course, the last one is actually feeling thankful for the opportunity that Swami has given us to do that particular seva. So these are the attitudes. So the question comes, how do we ensure this attitude remains? How do we keep this type of attitude going all the while throughout all the type of sevas that we do? Now, for this, we have to go back to the question that Swami actually asked us. God will only ask when, God will not ask when and where you did the seva. God will ask what was the motive, what was the intention that prompted. And he seeks quality of the heart, purity of the mind, and the holiness of the motive. So in this sense, we as Sai devotees, so it doesn't matter if we have taken up any sort of leadership. What matters is how lovingly we approach our subordinates, the devotees, or the people who are working together with us. It does not matter the volume of seva, the quantity of seva, but the purity and the quality of the seva that matters. So this is what Swami actually says we have to come back to, so that whatever seva that we do, we will do it with our utmost sincerity. I'll give an example. Center cleaning and Grama Seva. So Grama Seva is a very huge, project. And center cleaning is something that we all do it on a weekly basis, probably 2 families or 3 families or 2 individual or 3 individual to clean up the center. So if let's say one person doesn't turn up and we actually complain, telling that, oh, he's supposed to come, but how come he is not here? I have to do everything. Now that is already negative. So we are not looking at the opportunity that Swami has given. We are not thankful for the opportunity. That part we will actually miss the purity. That pure heart is missing there. So that will not equate to a seva that will allow us to feel the jiva within. Also in a Grama Seva. So if let's say we are going for a Grama Seva and we are working very hard, and suddenly we see a few people sitting down at the corner, having a chat, drinking something, and wasting their time over there, so-called, we're judging. So even that will actually give some sort of what we call as upsetness within us, which will not allow us to connect to the jiva. We will not be connect to the purity of the thought, word, and deed, and we will start commenting things on them. So eventually we will not be connected to the Jeeva aspect. So what we need to do is we need to come out of all these practical problems and go back to the source of asking us the question, what Swami actually told, which is what was the intention to start off this project, and the quality of the project, how we should maintain the purity within, that when Swami, when we do the seva, we must realize that it is Swami who is actually conducting the seva. And it is for Swami that we are doing. And the very act that we do is also Swami. So Swami doing the seva for a Swami through Swami. So this approach will actually help to realize the Jiva within. So that becomes the worship of the Jiva. Sai Ramana.
Thank you, Dr. Nanda. Wow, it's a very profound experience. As you said, this line itself blows you away. The worship of Jiva is the other name for Seva. Can you imagine? The fact that you go to the old folks home and do something is actually worshipping Jiva. Jiva in two parts. Jiva in the individual, that means you yourself have a Jiva. You're respecting, you're giving reverence to your own Jiva. At the same time, the person whom you're serving also has got a Jiva as well. So you have to serve both together, it comes together. So when you can align yourself like this, that itself is a real worship. I mean, this is very powerful and very impactful. And whether we are actually experiencing this while we do the seva is something that we need to really contemplate. And Dr. Nanda brought, what he did was, he also revised back some of the older things that we've gone through and brought it back again and gave it a perspective. So that's very nice. Thank you, Nanda. Anybody wants to ask any questions at this point of time? Or anybody want to say something here to Nanda? Okay. So now, one of the other quotations, one of the other statements that Swami has mentioned, which is what Nanda has just mentioned as well, is that preliminary to any seva, you have to uproot all egoistic tendencies. Get rid of all the sense of mine and thine, and burn to ashes the pride that comes of the feeling that you are offering service to someone poorer and less fortunate. So in this context, we have invited 4 other youth who have all the time been very active in this service of giving food to people. They actually cook the food and they parcel it and then go and give it to people. And some of them have been active also during the MCO. So we'd like to invite Chatish, Brother Chatish, to talk to us about what you understand from this statement that Bhagavan has talked about with reference to the food that you went and gave to the members in the community. Are you here, Chatish?
Sairam. Hi. Yeah. So my name is Chatish Sairam. So I would like to talk about the seva and what Swami said about this.
Which center are you talking? Which center are you from, Chatish?
I am from Ampang Center and Tamanyal Center.
Okay. No, just wanted to know because we don't know. So you're from Ampang Center. Just want to let you know you must talk a bit louder because you're talking to almost 150 people from a few countries, including UK. So they're quite far away. They may not be able to hear. So if you can come closer to the mic and.
And Swami said about purity is enlightenment and Swami's expectation in services. So first of all, when we say services, there should not be that. I will talk regarding the questions that you have already mentioned about. So the service that we do is feeding the hunger, so feeding the poor. So we every month once we provide food for those unlucky. So what we gain from the service is first we gain realization of how lucky and fortunate that all of us are, because when we see that many unfortunate people just lying around the roadside with all the noises and the cleanliness and everything, compared with us having a proper shelter for us to live with proper clothing, proper food for us to eat and everything, we should be considered to be very fortunate and very lucky that Swami actually provided us with all this. So that is the first thing that I gain is realization of how lucky I am. And also I also realized that all the waste that I've done with the resources previously, like example, leftover foods and everything, because a lot of them are struggling to even gain one meal per day. The meal of satisfaction per day is very difficult out there. So that is one realization I found. So another thing.
Sorry, Chatish, where did you actually go and give this food to? To whom?
We give it around KL area as on Central Market and Pudu area.
Or the homeless people, is it?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So we do it.
At one time? How much food you take? How many packets of food you take?
It depends. Sometimes we take 100, sometimes we take 150. And
Okay.
if it's occasion wise, we will try to add on more foods if possible.
Okay. So now with reference to that work which you do, which will probably take 1, 2, 3 hours going there, distributing the food, coming back, this context, uprooting egoistic tendencies, getting rid of the sense of mine and thine, and burning to ashes the pride that comes from the feeling. Okay. In this context, how is it your personal experience of transformation?
Uh, Personal experience of transformation, I would say can I talk about the ego wise that you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you talk about ego, I realized when we are giving them food, a sense of ego rises before we start the service itself. Like example, when we see them, when we see the people, we might straight away jump to a conclusion of why we are giving them food. Why is it necessary for us to give them food when when we can see that they are actually having they are not disabled people, they can work on their own, they can stand on their own feet. So why we must give them food? So the sense of judging them comes first. Maybe not for everyone, but most of us, even me in the beginning when I heard about the service, the first thought that came to me, why am I doing this? The sense of judging other people came in first. So that was my ego. So I saw that again I'm telling those people, they are not disabled people, they can work, they can go find any source of place to work or anything, earn money, and from there they can buy something to eat. So why are they sleeping there, and why are we like encouraging them, saying that okay, we will provide you food and everything? Why we are doing that? So that's when I realized that my ego was jumping up and down because I'm judging people. So if you see very deep into it, when we questioned those homeless people, why are you here? Why are you sleeping here? Because the place that they sleep and the place that they are is not very easy for everyone to just stay, because it is not a choice that they're staying there. So the reason that they provide us is because first, they have no choice. Second, they came from a different country. Their native country is different. They are not from Malaysia. So they are from mostly from Bangladesh, Vietnam, and so on. So why did they came here is because, example, their agency, they promised that they would give them a proper place to work and everything, proper food. But when they reach here, they get scammed and their passport, their personal documents all have been lost. So the first thing that they can do is they ran away. They were scared to go to any authority. They were scared to do anything. So what they did, they just ran away and they just slept wherever they can. So what that was the first case that we found, first scenario, it happened to them. So one thing, they were there not by choice, is because those things happened to them. Second thing, most of them live there, they got work, they are having a job, but the purpose of them staying there is because the cost of living is very high. Their salary will be very low and they would need to send to their homes, their native countries and on. So they could not afford to live a better life here. So that's the reason that they actually on the road. So when I knew that, that's when I realized I was quick to judge them, saying talking bad about them, because they were okay, they were fine. It seemed to be like they were doing fine, but when we investigate, we get to know that they were not doing fine. Most of them are physically down and mentally also down. So that was the ego that I found, and that made me to realize that not to judge people in any situation, not only in that feed the homeless situation, but in all any other situation. We may never know what is the behind story that is happening to them. So that is one egoistic tendency that I try to remove from myself during this process.
So subsequently, when you went and did the food service and all that, you don't judge anymore.
I mean, the judging level, I would say it's not as high as it was.
Before.
I'm trying every day to not to have those judging.
Okay.
So what I will do now is, if I see anyone, I'll just do it rather than thinking too many about why they are here, what are they doing, why they can't find any food themselves. So first thing comes to my mind now is straight away just give it to them. So I
Okay.
don't know.
As this reduce your over time? What is it that now that you kept on doing this seva? What is it that you feel? Do you feel calmer now? That you don't get angry too often or something like that as a result of all these activities?
As a result, I would get angry, but not as much as last time. It's very reduced compared to last time.
Okay, so therefore, the transformation you see is in the reduction of anger. Do you say that your stress levels have come down?
Yeah, my stress level has come down.
Yeah.
That is when my stress level has come down.
So that means you sleep better now, or you never had a problem in sleeping?
Yeah, I never had problem in my sleep. Everything.
Okay. But at least your
The
stress level and
peaceness,
anger level.
yeah, the peaceness of mind is there, because
Yeah.
again, when I think about those people and I think about me, so that's where I find the peace within me, that I am fortunate enough because Swami gave me all these things. So in that, I can just be okay with myself and everything.
Yeah. So this is Chatish declaring to us or confessing to us that what was he before and what is he after, just by participating in a service program in which Bhagavan is now mentioning that we need to get rid of egoistic tendencies, getting rid of sense of mind and burn to ashes the pride. Thank you, Chatish, for these
Oh,
few
thank
words.
you.
Thank you so much.
Saram, thank you.
So, thank you. Now, I just want to, before I call the next person, I just want to show you this. And for those of you who think that this is philosophy, one of these is from science papers, which I have talked about. You see, Chatish and a few others, and every one of us, when we go and do some work, it is voluntarism. They say lowering mortality rates, increasing functional ability, and lowering rates of depressions are some of the benefits of voluntarism. This is all from different papers, published papers, internationally published papers. So research, a review of these papers shows that if you keep on volunteering your time and energy, you will lower your mortality rates, which means to say you will find that you can increase your lifespan, increase functional ability, and lower the rates of depression. So mental health people feeling frustrated, feeling what do you call it, not so good about yourself, that the best way is to go out and do this kind of service work, and you find that these are the benefits that it will bring. So this is science. There's another study that they showed, a longitudinal study of older married adults found that those providing instrumental support to friends, relatives, and neighbors had lower rates of mortality 5 years later than those who had not reported providing support. That means to say, if you're always caring for other people and you're always helping and supporting, you find that you have lower rates of mortality. That means you live longer. In addition, providing support was found to have a stronger relationship with longevity than receiving support from others. So these all studies showing that your body will tend to become more healthy. And that is very true, because if you keep on volunteering, this is the science aspect of it other than the spiritual. If you just keep on extending and volunteering, you'll find your body produces endorphins, not only endorphins, oxytocin and all that. So all this helps you in our immune system. That's why the people who volunteer and keep on volunteering, you find they're much more healthy, live longer, and have a happy life. Okay, so this is what I just wanted to share with you. So along with these experiences, we also want to learn a little bit of scientific support to what Bhagavan is saying to us. Then we have Brother Sanjay from Ampang as well. Brother Sanjay, are you here?
Saram, brother.
Saram.
Everyone, can you hear me?
Everyone can hear. Just let me. I think Sanjay has been very active in the same kind of work that that Satish is doing. And how long have you been doing this, Sanjay?
Okay, just run through very quickly the history of this homeless feeding. So basically, it was started in conjunction with Swami's 90th birthday back in May of 2015. So then there was a target to feed 900 people by November 23rd, 2015, which we achieved back then. So then there was a question on whether or not we continued, and actually we, with the committee at the time, the youth committee, we chose to continue, and so it has continued actually up till before MCO. So it's in years counting, it's about 5 years lah. So myself, I've been involved since May 2015 itself, but Brother Chatish is currently the coordinator of this program. Okay, so yeah, so there's a short history of the homeless feeding that the youths have been running, the youths of KL and Selangor.
Okay.
Yeah. So Yeah.
Can you
Brother.
discuss your experience? Can you discuss your experience with reference to this statement that you see on your screen now?
Okay. Basically, Brother Chatish has explained a lot, and
No, I want your personal
yeah,
transformation.
similar to him. My personal transformation is okay. First and foremost, what did I gain? So actually, from doing such an activity, I actually gained the complete self-satisfaction. That day that I do the homeless feeding, that is probably the happiest day in the whole month for me, because I know that someone that we have fed today, or someone that we have come together and we have fed him, will not go hungry for that day. Okay, that is firstly what I gained from the service. Okay, and in doing this service, some of the egoistic tendencies that I felt is reducing in me. I used to exaggerate my own problems in life. I used to feel very depressed for small, very very small problems. But when I see them, when I serve them, I learned that actually my problems are not that big compared to what others might be facing. So I learned to be very thankful actually for given the opportunity actually to serve, be in a position to serve. Okay, and I just to share, to this day, we will say thank you to all the homeless recipients. Okay, because we are thanking them actually for the opportunity to serve, the opportunity that they have given us to serve. Okay, it's never, I at least felt like it's never been us serving them, rather we are serving ourselves. And as Chachish also said, I also have lowered down my judgment of people by their outlook or condition. Just to share, when we first started, there were some elders and some naysayers that were saying that should you all continue this, or are you all encouraging the homeless to continue to be homeless, these kind of things. But and that actually threw some doubt in our mind actually. So, but after serving them for so long and seeing the joy in their faces upon receiving, seeing their eagerness, some are actually very regulars and they are actually looking forward to seeing us every month. There are people like that also. So basically, we stop judging people by the outlook or condition. If we are serving and you are there, you get it, that kind of thing. Okay? So we basically stop judging people and we just go out and serve. Okay, and has there been a reduction of I and mine? My own personal feeling about this is actually the design of the service itself is such that it's done very much as a team. There's a unique teamwork and togetherness about this activity. Example, the ingredients are potluck style. The packing distribution also done in groups. So the design of the activity itself is in such a way that first and foremost, we do not try to overburden any single one of the team members or individual. That is one. And we also do not give the chance for any individual to have the inclination to proclaim their own effort, because everything is done in a very teamly, a group manner. So yes, and on my own personal experience, definitely there's been a reduction of I and mine. I feel that everything now that I offer it to Swami. Even when I'm giving the food, I wouldn't say I see Swami in them instantly, but I always try to see Swami in them. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. So Sanjay has now narrated to us some of the changes that he has seen in this activity. Just to go on with, thanks Sanjay, thank you Chatish. This one is another study. A study of adults aged 65 and older found that the positive effect of volunteering on physical and mental health is due to the personal sense of accomplishment that an individual gains from his or her volunteer activities. Brother, what do you call it? Mohana, sorry. Brother Mohana, our Vice President for Service, is here with us. And I'm sure he's listening to this. But this is another area. See, this kind of studies people have done, that old people sometimes, they are staying there and they're receiving some help. But if they also can be part of us to go out and do something for others, it seems that a personal sense of accomplishment also has a positive effect on these elderly people, especially in terms of physical and mental, where they get to come to sense that I'm useful in this world. So this is another one. And this is another study, research study, that shows amongst the older adults who had experienced the loss of major role identities such as wage earner and parenting, there is a loss of purpose. However, when these people began volunteering their time, they regain moderately their greater meaning and purpose. I think I just want to show that the SAI organization, whilst we look for opportunities to provide service, and then we go and clean up, and then we go and wash and or give food and all that. I think this is also another dimension in which we sincerely need to look at how they can be participating in something that they can feel a sense of purpose. Most of the time, elderly people, you'll find that after some time, when they're not earning money or earning wage, you find they lose a sense of purpose. They lose purpose. Second thing is that their children are not there, so they can't govern over, and they all are too busy. So it sort of creates a vacuum in them. And this is another area probably we should seriously think about. I'm sure at some point some groups are thinking like that, but these are all ideas from where we should seriously look at how we can engage this group of people also to be involved in something that they can feel that they have accomplished something. So these are studies that people have done. One of the growing trends highlighted earlier in the, was depression. We can see that from the studies that have shown, using edited version of the Center for Epidemiologic Studies, depression scale, researchers found statistically significant positive relationship between volunteering and lowering levels of depression. So people who feel sad within you, or people who feel that you're isolated, disconnected, don't keep analyzing why you are like that. Just go out and find something to do and make yourself useful. You'll find certain consciousness changing in our system, because the tamasic state can only be overcome by rajasic state. And then only the rajasic state can overcome by the sattvic one. So this is the process in which we should evolve. So this is a very important findings. What I've done is I've taken up 150 of these research findings and research paper. I've written a book on this called The Art and Science of Volunteering Social Service. And I just extracted some of this from the book that I wrote. And this is the reason why we wrote that book is because we went and gave a training to all the professors and associate professors who for the first time in University Malaya introduced volunteering service. This is something that we pushed, and now the University Malaya has got officially a center which engages with the students. So every year 3,500 students get engages into compulsory voluntary service, and this is marked and assessed and all that. It's a process that's now taking place. So for the first official trainer sessions, we used this kind of statistics to demonstrate. Otherwise, we can't go on philosophical mode. You see, somebody said this, somebody said so. We had to bring in all these statistics to justify what the art of volunteering social service means. Now we have another brother Satya.
Hi, Professor. Sairam, everybody.
Hi, Satya.
Okay, so I'm going to follow with the questions that was sent to me. So first thing first, I'm going to begin with my experience on when I was doing this Feed the Hunger. First thing first, I by myself really, how to say, I'm a food lover. I really love food, vegetarian food, non-vegetarian food, any food, I really love it. Then when I came to know through Brother Chattis that there's a program that is going on to feed the homeless, because the main idea is hunger is not only with one individual. Hunger it's with everybody. It can be with the richest man in the world. It can be with the poorest man in the world. Hunger is with everybody. As long as you got a stomach, you will be feeling hungry and you need the food. So at that moment, I think, okay, I was always very selfish. I like to eat a lot of food. It's only for me. Then if I go out, I want to go to eat expensive food and taste only the real good food and everything. And this time when I get into the field, I go there and look at people, the homeless, who are sitting there in a very, very dirty environment. They are not clean. They smell very bad. And for the guys, the beard, they have all this look and everything. Then only slowly I was realizing that, everybody needs food at any any time of their life. So as I was distributing the food, and then I start to realize, yes, About the ego thing, first experience that I had was one of the homeless person. We went there and told, here, we are giving the food, you want this or not? Then he asked, what food is this? I said, it's a vegetarian nasi lemak. He said, no, I don't eat vegetarian nasi lemak. Do you have mutton or chicken? Then I was like, sorry, Anna, we don't have mutton, chicken. We only have vegetarian food, and this one we have. He said, okay. How about if you give me 2 ringgit? I said, sorry, we don't give money also. We just have vegetarian food. Then he said, okay, I don't want. So that's why it struck my ego. Like we are providing food, which is a big thing. In that also, you want to have your own requirements like mutton, chicken, and fish. And then how is this? Like we cannot prepare this. So it's like, okay, never mind. Then yeah, it happened very, very often. Even they are homeless, very picky. So that's the ego part of me. Like we are doing it, you should appreciate it. You have to receive it, because we never know the next person is going to have this packet of food or not, first of all. And why is it really matters if it's a chicken or mutton, egg or fish inside? Just get what you have. Why are these people like this? Then as like Brother Chatis and Brother Sanjay told just now, when we are going to like the deeper part of Central Market, we are going to the deeper part of Pudu, we are seeing many people there. And then I was starting to realize it's okay. And also sometimes some of them will be asking more than they need. We just give them 1 packet, and then they want, they said they will point their finger, they want 1 more, they want 2 more. And then we will be thinking, you're alone, you have no friends, nobody around you, why you want more than you're supposed to need? That's another thing that struck my ego as well. Why is like this? We are doing a good thing, and these homeless are behaving like this. But yeah, as time goes, every month, every Sundays as we go, we'll start to meet different type of homeless people. Then Brother Chatis, brother Sanjay will just tell, it's okay. If they ask, just give them. If they ask 2 packets, just give. They ask more than 1, just give them. Give them as much water bottle as you can. Don't worry if they have friends or family around them, just give it. Then that it's like a practice. As time goes, slowly, my ego went down, because at the beginning, I myself a very choosy person in the food. I also want mutton, I also want chicken, that and this, a lot of vegetables in my food, and I also want to eat in food. So why don't homeless also have that same thing that I'm having? So as months passed by, my ego was just slowly demolished within me. So now when I go down the field, anytime they ask, I'll just say, we only have this, I'm very sorry. If you have anything else, we'll try to make it next time for you. Then they'll just like just sit down and lepak there, and then we just continue distributing. So yeah, that's my personal experience and how I overcome my ego. And also now I'm starting to love food more, until sometimes I'll see my friends all finish it. I'll ask, enough, you want, enough ready for you, is it? If they say, enough, do I eat their food also? So the love of food is increasing for me, and my ego level also has dropped. So homeless or not, we are all just same.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you was, are you an angry person?
That depends, Professor. Sometimes, yeah, certain thing will make me angry.
No, but has it come down?
How? Sorry, Professor.
Has it over the times that you're serving, has it come down? Has the anger come down? As your stress levels come down?
Yes. Basically, my stress and depression naturally is very low. Just during preparing this time, then only my stress will increase. Oh, we have to get on time, provide the food to everybody before sun become too hot and everything. But when we go to that activity, it will be just zero in everything. My anger, stress, depression, all just happy. Just walk around, joke around, and talk to them, give the food, ask them what else and everything. So it'll be like a smooth experience after that.
Yeah. So thank you, brother. You have shared with us how your own personal ego has been demolished over this whole period. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Sairam, everybody.
Yeah, Sairam so much. This is another study, a review by the Corporation for National Community Service done in 2007 states that people who volunteer have greater longevity, higher functional ability, lower rates of depression, and less incidence of heart disease. These all different studies echoing the same thing. If there are studies giving you contradictory results, then it is not possible. But here are studies showing you. Therefore, the point that is being brought out here is that I really think service to society is not just an extracurricular activity, or is not even a spirit. I mean, should not just confine itself to be considered as what do you call it, as a spiritual activity, but actually it's a therapy. It's a real therapy, a therapy in which we can, when we connect to another human being, there is a lot of things that happens within us, including happiness and joy. And this is what the study shows. There's another study that suggests that volunteering is especially beneficial to older adults and those who serve 100 volunteer hours a year. Those who volunteered for at least 100 hours per year were 2/3 as likely to be non-volunteers to report bad health, and also 1/3. So these were all evidences to provide show. And now the students in the universities, what they do is they actually go and do this type of service and do journaling and write their transformational changes and all that. And this is part and parcel. I think there's some credit hours also given for this activity. So these are all statistics to show you that this is what it is. So the other, one more last brother who is supposed to help us in this area is who is that? Okay. Yes, the person's name is Suman. Suman, are you here?
Yes, Saram, ne?
Saram, Suman, how are you?
I'm good, ne? How are you, ne? How are you doing?
Still okay. All the best.
Okay, ne? Saram, everyone. I'm Suman, and I'm from SSEHV Segambut. So, personally, what I feel about this is that I don't really have a big ego problem, because through being in as a Balvika student, I've been through a lot other social services, like going to temple, helping them out, cleaning the temple, washing all the stuffs over there, then feeding animals, going to old age homes and helping them out. I've even shaved old uncles like beard because they didn't have proper equipments, and then I've helped them out. So like during this thing, the only feeling that I had at first when I see the homeless, I felt actually very sad to see how unfortunate are they. Like what Brother Chatis said, that most of them are not from this country, they're not Malaysians, they are from other countries. And then some of them are old people who might have been get kicked out from their house. So they are in no help, like no one can help them, and they can't even help themselves because literally they can't go to work. Like people from other countries, through the agencies, maybe they have cheated them, they have taken away their passports, they can't really do much. And sometimes we see, yes, they have 2 hands, 2 legs, why not they go and work? But you wouldn't know what is happening to them internally. You wouldn't know what kind of disease they're having, what kind of things they're going through. They might have mental breakdowns and stuff. So like, as when I go, I will sometimes see me in their situation. Like, what if I'm in their place? What will I do? And it really horrifies me, like to think, to be in their place, being homeless, being no one cares about you, like you can't really think of anything. So like when I go to them, I just give the food, give the water. If they ask more, I would just give it out, because as humans, like what Brother Satya said, everyone has a stomach, everyone feels hungry, everyone needs food. So I just, even giving them once in a month just for one day, it's kind of big, but still for them, they might not get food the next day, they might not get food the next week, they might be just be hungry, they might go unconscious, they might just faint out, and they might just die outside there. Like no one even cares about them. So like giving out this food, like in me, it makes me happier and it makes me calmer, because I get this opportunity to help them out, like at least satisfy their hunger, satisfy their requirement of food just for that one particular moment. And yeah, really that's it. And then I just hope that this prolongs and it goes nationally, because I hope that there are more people, there are more youths, more adults like can join us, and then go on with the movement, like do more foods, gather more people, go around and help more people out. So yeah, that's what I can say from my experience.
But in your experience, while you're doing all these things and you're going out, what about your own personal attitude? You know, do you find you get more clarity when you keep on doing this? Let's say if you're confused, and then suddenly, have you ever experienced a state of confusion, and then after going and doing some service like this, and coming back, you find there's greater clarity in a decision making that you need to make?
Yes, I can say that I become more understanding, because I tend to understand people's feelings or either what they are going through. So like last time I used to be like very straightforward. I will just cuss out words. Like if I feel it's not right, I will just throw out whatever comes out from my mouth. I will just like go all out. Then like from this, I see like from both views, I put myself in their shoes and see from their extent as well. So like I would say I became more understanding, and in situations like it's heated up or something, I would tend to be more quiet. I wouldn't be as, I could say, rude as how last time I used to be like among my friends and stuff.
Wow, very good, Suman. Because I think the mechanism here is simple. You see, sometimes we want something. Sometimes we are confused. We think what we have is the right thing. We think
Yes.
sometimes that what we know is the only thing that matters. And that is because we are gaining knowledge. Knowledge
Yeah.
is like the top of the ocean where there are a lot of waves. And when we keep on swimming in the top of the waves, we think we know what we are doing. We think we are right. And sometimes there's a cloud, there's a confusion in our head. But the service that we do when we extend and touch other people, give food, do all these things that you have mentioned, slowly what happens is the individual slowly sinks to the bottom of the ocean, where that is what the Atma is all about. That's why everyone who goes out and does something and comes back, you suddenly find there's a greater clarity in something. There's sometimes you find confusion becoming lesser. You find that you're able to, because at the bottom of the sea is where you get wisdom. At the top of the ocean is where you get knowledge. The world is full of knowledge. That's why there's so much of confusion. Very little wisdom, but a lot of knowledge. So sometimes it is very important for us to just allow things to happen. Let it go, let go. So this is what this thing does, you see. So thank you so much, Suman, for sharing with us that experience. And now we go on to another group of people who have done another different type of service. And this is very exciting. In fact, everyone gives different dimensions. And this is a verse from Swami's quote. Swami said, God will not ask you when and where did you do service. He will ask, with what motive did you do it? What was the intention that prompted you? You may weigh seva and boast of its quantity, but God seeks quality, and the quality of the heart, the purity of the mind, and the holiness of the motive. This is what the statement is. I'd like to invite Dr. Sharla. Dr. Sharla is a doctor, medical doctor, and she is in charge of this program called what's that? Values, Innocence, and Purity, VIP, and it is a program for teenage pregnancy. A very dynamic person who is instrumental now in bringing this program to a larger number of schools. So she will explain the whole program. Then we'll invite the 4 participants in this program who benefited, who has been teaching this program. So Sharla, Dr. Sharla.
Sairam Anna, Sairam everyone. In 2011, this is when we realized there was a lot of cases, or rather a lot of news about baby dumping and teenage pregnancy that was read in newspapers. And it was very devastating, and it doesn't only affect the students, the female girls, but eventually they even go into depression and commit suicide. So we were wondering that, you know, there is a need and this is a cry of help. And that's when, just as how Swami responded when the call of the hour is there, we came up with this program called Rise for VIP, reaching for inner strength and empowerment for values, innocence, and purity. Now, this program is really specially catered for female students in school, really to look into as to why the students are victimized. Why do they decide to make the wrong decision and get themselves into being pregnant and then dumping babies? So along the way, we realized that really what they are lacking is love and only love. It's the touch and that sincerity that someone is there to help them. That is what really they were looking for. So what we did, we try our best to go into schools, various schools, about more than 20 schools we have reached, and about 2,000 students we have uh, um, really enrolled into this program, and that's throughout Malaysia, all the states. We get feedbacks from teachers, from students, which really help them to build up their self-esteem and really respect themselves first and foremost. Now, along the journey in helping them learning, or rather getting to know their true self, it was also a journey for me to actually learn about myself as well. All this while, I take things for granted. I mean, we have parents, we have everything, but not many of them there who have the same. They may be brought up by a stepmother or stepfather, or it's a single parent who's bringing them up, or poverty. So they really don't have a shoulder to cry on, and when a guy or so who gives a little more attention, they tend to grab it without even thinking twice. So it's a sad situation really, but this is what we are doing when we go into schools and be with them that 1-2 hours a week. It makes a difference. So in till this about last year, until before the MCO was started, even teachers were looking forward to have us in schools, and the same school that was done last year requested to continue the program this year. So like that, many facilitators would be sharing the same experience that I have, and
how many schools, Sharla?
About more than 20 schools now we have done. That is throughout Malaysia, including students about 2,000 plus. 2,000 plus. So we besides schools, we also did in institute latihan perindustrian, and also some boarding school which is in Malacca, and the one in Malacca is actually a juvenile school, and that was really an experience for all of us. In fact, the teachers themselves saw some changes in them. But we were not able to continue the program as a continuation in the school. But nevertheless, the students who have taken part really benefited, and we have seen a lot of changes in them.
Yeah. Sharla's VIP program intervention here is a really critical thing, because in this country, Malaysia, every day there are 50 registered cases of teenage pregnancy in this country, 50. Of course, that is reported. So you always multiply in science, you must multiply by 5 for 250 cases that is not reported. So that's a very, very high number. And there's a need for us to spread out. And we were discussing whether we should take the VIP program online and reach out to thousands and thousands of students like this, so that more and more school students can be prevented from these exercises, because boys are taking advantage of this. Thank you, Sharla, for that overall summary of that program. And now, we have the four participants, 4 of these trainers who went with Sharla to do this work. And one of them is Archana. Archana, are you here?
Sairam, uncle.
Sairam, Archana. Now, Archana, your point is, can you see this quotation on the screen? Not quotation, sorry. This, yeah. So can you answer those questions with regard to the experience? It's not the program that we want now, that we want your personal transformation as a result of that program.
Okay, uncle. So Sairam, uncle, and everyone here today. For a brief, I'll start briefly. So I joined the program Rise of VIP as a reaching for inner strength, empowerment of values, innocence, and purity in the year of 2018. Personally, I was very, very attracted to this program as it's very modulated for the young teenage pregnant problems in Malaysia. So when I decided to join this program, I was a medical student that time, and I saw in my very own eyes when I was put in the labor room for my duty that every day I witness there is at least 1 to 2 teenage pregnancy where the girl is only 14 and the boyfriend ran away and she doesn't know what to do. And as this program came through my sister, she wanted me to take part. So I thought, why not? This is a way to reach out to the young teens with my own real life experience that I see. So the motive that why I actually pick up this particular program, I felt this was one of the best way to reach out to the teens as I'm witnessing the problems a day-to-day life. And in this era, the youngsters would love, they do not take advice from older people very seriously, but if the youngsters like us go down to the field and do the work, they feel even more connected. And that's what I saw in the programs that I went through compared to the they see the younger akas and they go like, oh, okay, so okay, we will listen to you and all that. They're very, very friendly and they tend to open more about their problems more sincerely to us. So that made me very, very motivated to join from one particular. We started in, we do this program. I'm from Seremban basically. So we started this program in an orphanage home and we did the next one in an institusi industrian in a government college where the teachers told they came from various background. We thought being any bias, I didn't want to be biased to any one of them, disregard to any story, any of their background. And we started this program and it ended up very, very successfully as I felt very motivated because we had the help from Dr. Sharla and her team driving almost every week without feeling tired from KL to Seremban, and that really inspired me to really do my best. And we had many challenges in this service, Uncle, and everyone else hearing here. For example, the number of facilitators, the transportation. We have to drive from Seremban to Pedas 40 minutes every week, and our parents were willing to give us the car without questioning us much due to our sincerity and the job. We have to wake up early at 7 to get ready with our modules, work thorough with it. And I felt that the sincerity that we had, the particular people that we are offering to will eventually feel it. And that's what I felt this program made a very huge success. And when we completed the program in ILP Pedas, the teachers personally came to us and told that some of the students who were not doing very well in studies were coping up better now. And those who wanted to drop off in diploma contacted few of us and told personally that Akas, we are going to move on to degree, as we also want to be a speaker. So when people introduce us in the next upcoming programs, we would be able to tell we have an educational status. We want to be independent and not be lured into this any this bad social activities going on. And
are the students,
yes,
sorry, are the students only Indians or they're mixed crowd?
It's a mixed crowd, Uncle. It's a multi-racial crowd. Majority with the Malay students, Chinese, and the Indians.
Finally, did the teenage pregnancy come down?
Yes, uncle, definitely. Not only teenage pregnancy, the teachers said the behavior towards everything. They used to bully one another, a lot of bully cases, the way they disrespect the teacher, and now they have better relationship overall with teachers, families, and friends.
So very quickly, before you went into the program, you see, look at this: God seeks quality, quality of the heart, purity of the mind, holiness of the motive. So before you all went into the session, did you all assess these things? Because in order for you, for the people to be penetrating, for them to understand what you're saying, did you meditate? Did you pray? What did you do before going for the sessions?
So before every session, uncle, because this is a very big responsibility according to me, I do my own prayers at home, and before every session we have this group prayer where we chant a few mantras, and we invite Swami to be with us in every session that we do. And yeah.
So that's good. That's great. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Archana. I think that really gave us an idea of what happened and really fulfills what this expectation of Bhagavan is. Thanks, Archana. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Uncle Sairam.
Sairam. Sharini, are you there?
Anusha here.
Anusha, yeah. Anusha, don't speak to us about the program anymore because we already understood the essence of that program. We want you to focus on these words now and then directly translate that into that experience of yours.
Okay. So I'll start off by saying about quality and non-quantity. Yeah, two aspects actually. First is my own doubt, right? So I used to think that I don't qualify to go and approach these young girls because they all come with different baggages and different problems and issues. And I'm thinking, who am I to go and tell them how to deal with it? Yeah, I don't have any professional qualifications to do that. So I used to doubt myself. But after going for this program, and also Swami's quote that says, I don't choose the qualifiers, but I qualify those that I choose, made me feel that, hey, you know what? Swami is giving me an opportunity to go and reach out to these girls and provide them with the platform to share and open up and mainly to heal. Because as a teenage girl, when I was a teenager, which was many years ago, I too always wanted to have just an avenue to just speak. You know, all I wanted was someone to hear me. So I felt like this program provides that opportunity. So in that sense, I was very, very motivated to participate in this program because of that sincere intention of wanting to assist. And that's the first aspect of quality and not quantity. Another aspect of quality and not quantity is the program in itself. In a year, as Shailaka mentioned, there are many schools or testing for this program to be conducted. And I always was not able to participate in all the programs, like all the sessions. Maybe in January there was one and I had to miss it for work reasons or whatever reasons. And then in February there's one and I'm able to participate in that. And I used to ask myself, am I sincere in this program? Because is my involvement in this program sincere enough? Because I skip some and then I go for some. Then once again this beautiful paragraph that Anas put up here reminded me that it's not the quantity of how many sessions you participate in, but each time when you go with a pure heart, you go with the purity in the mind, you go sincerely, then that is way more important than wanting to be there present in all the sessions. So so that's what my reflection is about this quote. And then I also want to say that personal transformation, I would say that I discovered my higher purpose by participating in this program. It's very easy to say that our higher purpose is to serve or to whatever it may be. But for me, I felt that I have a higher purpose that is to connect emotionally. I never knew that I had this skill, that I can actually just connect to these young teenagers on an emotional level, on a heart-to-heart level. And it not just touches them, but it really, it has a huge impact in me. And I also always wondered, participating in this program, will I come back emotionally drained because, they are telling all their problems and I'm sitting there trying to understand it. But then I realized it's almost impossible to come back home drained because you're there purely with the intention of wanting to assist and to lend them a avenue and a platform and a shoulder to lean on, to cry on, and it's never that I've come home from a session like this feeling drained. In fact, I'm just so highly, floating so high in energy and looking forward for the next opportunity to reach out.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much it, Anna.
Very good. Thanks, Anusha. Thank you so much. That was really a very powerful experience. Shows that the connectivity and at the same time keeping everybody inspired. Don't forget this. Don't forget that this program guys cannot go in, because only the girls can go and tell the girls about these type of matters. It's not so. That's why we are a bit handicapped here. And the younger, our senior girls who are going inside and doing this work, it's amazing because this is something that is really, really important. And this is what the world is suffering from. That you look at the statistics now, the UK released the statistics recently and it is going into thousands and thousands. And what will these people do without good parenting skills and everything else? And so here is a prevention exercise, literally bringing, that's why it's called VIP. VIP means if you're a VIP, you want to stand out, stand up and stand for something. So that is what we want to tell these girls, to create a certain attitude in them to have the right sense to say no to temptations. So Sharini, are you there? Are you able to come in?
Siram uncle, yes, I'm here.
What happened just now?
My connection lost. Okay.
Okay, Sharini, tell us just this quotation. Don't talk about the program, just this one, huh?
Okay, Siram uncle and Siram everyone. I'm Sharini from SS3 Center. Relating to with what motive did you do it? What was the intention that prompted you? Honestly, I did not have any kind of intention when I joined Rise for VIP because I actually, when I first met Charlaka, I did not know who was she. But when she told me about this program, that we have this program Rise for VIP, that we are helping out students to curb social issues among students. So I was really, really interested in the program, and I just joined. I told Charlaka, Akka, can I be part of it? I didn't even think twice. I just told her in that spot itself that can I be part of it. So I did not have any intention, but as I started going for more sessions, the transformation that I felt was gratitude, because before joining Rise for VIP, the word gratitude was never in my a part of part of my life, I would say. But after going to the schools, listening to this children's story, and also looking at our Malaysian statistics, we have about 18,000 teenage pregnancy cases in Malaysia each year. I was also a teenager just about 10 years ago. I could have been one of them, but thankfully, with Swami's grace, I did not became a victim. But then when I think about it, I actually feel more grateful and thankful that I'm not part of it, and I'm able to help out these students and reach out more. And it gives me utmost happiness to talk to them and to even listen to them. And also, uncle, I feel emotionally and mentally stable. Like what Ansha Akka said, like each time, every sessions we go, we have to hear their stories, listen to them. All this, we have to be internally strong. Like our state of mind has to be strong. So it has made me stronger emotionally and mentally, also to deal with my own personal life. This is my takeaway from being part of Rise for VIP, uncle.
Oh, fantastic. So the trainer in themselves have become strong. You know what the problem here is, that in primary school, when we have gone to some schools and the standard 6 girls are inside, and outside their bikes, people with bikes, boys with bikes waiting for the standard 6 girls to come out. And then they just give handphones, they give this, and they get hoodwinked by this. And now there are various other techniques. There are people using internet to access to girls, and then they lay the wrong claims, they say sweet things, and then hoodwink the girl to think that the girls, to hoodwink them and think that they are the ones who are going to get married and all that. And finally, we get so many cases where people are getting cheated. This is the day and age where Maya has become engulfed. That is why the work that is being done by our girls here in the VIP program is really like God's angels, to give them the warning, the ability to discriminate, which is why we pray to Ganesha. Discrimination is a very important point, especially in the world of Maya. One needs to sit down and read philosophy books, and yes, Ganapati, Om Gam Ganapati, Namaha Om Gam Ganapati. We can keep on chanting and doing all these things, but really, these are the angels who are going out there and planting this in the minds of the girls, so that when the temptation comes, you know what it is and have the buddhi to say no, because your entire life can get messed up. Entire life can get messed up. And especially when you have a child, and unwanted child, the psychological impact that it has upon the girl is gone, totally damaged. And the impact of that really causes government money, parents problems. Here is an exercise where the people are going and doing something so beautiful and wonderful. It's really very inspiring to see them do this. And lastly, we have Dashini. Dashini, are you here?
Yes, Anesh, Saram, Dashni here.
Are you in Johor? Singapore?
No, I'm in Singapore.
Okay. Dashini, tell us.
Okay, first of all, this particular program, the motive was because I missed a particular patient that was 17 years old who attempted suicide by consuming paraquat, and she died in 3 days. The mother was just beside her, but she could not do anything. The cause of her suicide was because she was cheated by her boyfriend. So, estimated by WHO, the suicide cases rate are very high in 2020, where one death in every 20 seconds, with several cases leading as a factor. So, Rise for VIP actually had given me a platform to establish my relationship with the teenagers from several schools, and it allowed me to tackle what was their root cause of why are they leading to suicide, what are the signs and symptoms that they are undergoing, that guided us in a way that we could help them to figure out, okay, that means you are going through depression. I think we should encounter them, or we should help them by referring them to counselors, all that thing. So this particular program actually, it touched my heart so much, especially when I was in Tunas Bhakti in Malacca, where it was a very unconditional love that I could able to shower to every kids there. During that time, I was not the mother, but that moment I felt that I could only see from the kids' eyes that they just needed hug. They needed hug, they needed love. And of course, because they were cases like they were drug pushers, they were raped, all these things. But during that particular moment, we felt that we made them VIP, were a very important person in life. So at the end of the day, I could say that, you don't worry when you come out. Of course, you need to face the life that you are going to go through, but you are very important to us. You should not end life very easily because of your past, and you should not think on your past, but move on with the future. So during this moment that I could only realize that, the gratitude that we had on us is not a gratitude that, oh God, thank you so much for actually, I am not in these people's shoes, but actually the gratitude was, thank you so much for serving such kids, because we could see that they were eagerly and striving for love and support from like a sister or a mother. So we were in a form of a role model to them, that we were like mothers to them, hugging them and saying that you are a very important person. And of course, service during this time, I used to go after my night shift. So 24 hours you cannot be happy, but during my night shift, after night shift, I'll be like really feeling very sleepy, all that thing. But when you tend to go there and do the service, I realized that all my tiredness is just gone. You will just feel very, very happy and cherished during that moment, feeling very blessed to talk to them, to share with them. And I'm also, sometimes I feel that I'm very particular with my presentation. I should speak well, all. But when you tend to go and mix with these kids around, you feel that they don't need all this. because they only need some love, they need some support from you, and just some touch to know that, you know what, we are there for you, and I know that you love me. That kind of situation I felt. So I felt that this overall program basically had also boost my self-esteem, and also helped me to be a better parent in future, that I could at least empower my kid with values, innocence, and purity, so that they can able to go out and establish a good relationship with the teenagers, to reduce on the statistics of pregnancy, teenage pregnancies, suicides, and depression.
Fantastic, Darshini. Darshini is a nurse, a very qualified and professional nurse. Sarla is a doctor. Anusha is a lawyer. We got all this series of professional people, trainers. Some of them are trainers. All of them are professionals in their way. But what they're doing is they're volunteering. Volunteering means moving beyond their scope of work and giving time and energy towards bettering themselves, and in the process, bettering others. The difference between good work and God's work is this. Lots of societies and organizations do good work. Good work is just giving care and love and whatever it is to the people. But God's work is, while doing that process, what is it that you are now benefited? How are you getting connected to your Atma? How are you benefited? How are you transforming? So these two together is what that makes service to man is service to God. And where is the God? Not God outside, but the God within, which is what Nanda started earlier, which is said that Jeeva, worship of the Jeeva is Seva itself. That is how this whole thing has been, packaged and sandwiched together to show you the dimensions of service that is possible. Many people, we went to one extreme, that is the food serving and thing, and then this is the human transformation. Human transformation is another very important aspect of Seva as well. It's not sometimes carried out in many countries, but this is very critical for us. And I want to now tell you, because it's 10 o'clock sharp, and time has come. Next Thursday, we are going to do a very, 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 very important session. I've told Brother Mohana, who is the Vice President for Service, to invite all the other center service coordinators also to join us. And we're going to have a very big gathering. We're going to do something historic, something that I think will benefit not just this SSIO Sathsang organization here, but will benefit a lots of people around. But we won't, this is just trailer movie. We won't let you know what it is until you come inside. It's something good, and I hope you'll be able to participate coming Thursday into that session. And then there we will explore further into this service, and you will find that when we finish that session, you will find that sometimes the way that we do certain things may not be just as how Bhagavan wants it to be. Expectation. So the whole idea of now is not to keep on talking about the things and knowing about the things that we've already done. It is about trying to look at deeper and deeper aspect of ourselves, so that we can deliver whatever that we want to deliver to his expectation, because he is finally marking our papers. When we submit our question paper, he is the one who marks the paper, and he must mark it, and he knows all the answers. So the answer that he is marking now must be like that. So is the motive right? Is the purity there? All these things must be checked inside. And this is a very important concept. And probably after that session, maybe we should now start to promote service as a therapy itself, as a really important therapy for mental health, therapy for restlessness, therapy for insomnia, many, many things. Because really, when you get back to the Atma, you can cure, you can make people better, and so on. And that is what this whole session is all about. That's why Swami's words are so magical. Swami's words are incredibly transformative. There are not just words, there are mantra. Mantra, mantra, mantra. Every line is a mantra, every line. And it is something that no words can possibly express the depth of that words. And we are very happy to share whatever that we can and the insights that we have gained with all of us. We continue this journey because it is a journey, and we want everyone to be on this ship that we can sail to the port of our success as expected by Bhagavan Baba. Is there anybody else who want to say something at this point of time? Any comments? Did anybody find this useful?
Suresh, Dr. Ravi here.
Dr. Ravi, how are you?
Good. I want to just say that I'm amazed at the work that the VIP girls are doing. Yeah. And I think that is a real step forward, because when I heard the number of young girls who are led astray. It is just amazing how girls fall for small things like getting something and going with a friend and then losing themselves in the way. And finally, they lost, they then kill themselves. I had so many of these patients in my Jubilee home when I was the doctor in charge of the home for the lady young girls. I was so shocked to see young girls, age of 12 years, as low as 12 years to come there with a pregnancy. So what I'm trying to say, therefore, is we must wake up to the situation that we are doing, not just seva alone by way of giving charity, this, that. Let's transform. People needs transformation. And I think this is the way forward for us. I also would like to say that the people who are doing a lot of service works are doing with a lot of good heart. I can always speak on behalf of a medical staff who comes who comes with me for the medical camps that we have had in Vietnam, in the Philippines, in Indonesia. All these people have done so much of good work, real Sai work. They are fulfilling Swami's teachings. So you have really brought this to the light of the young people, and these young people must now rise and be the torchbearers of the Sathsang organization. Saram, brother.
Thank you so much, brother. Really, brother, what you're saying is so important, because I mean, as we speak now, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of girls getting deceived,
Yes.
getting cheated, getting
Yes.
hoodwinked, getting bluffed, and people are getting intoxicated by these words. They get carried away, especially in internet. Internet is the culprit, and social media. Lots of people are losing themselves in this light, and I do not know what has happened to the discrimination, and that is why our force, our VIP force is necessary to go and
Yes.
remind them, because it's a great service. There is no bigger service than what the girls are doing now. No bigger service, because you can do 1,000 things after that, but when such a tragedy happens, then it is all gone. So prevention is an important aspect towards the whole thing, and we really thank the VIP team for really making SSIO Malaysia really a role model in this area. To be fair, the Ministry of Education has given a blanket letter to Dr. Sharla and the team that they can go to any school in the country and do it. And by listening to this program, we hope that more and more girls volunteer. But give your names to Dr. Sharla, and they'll form these training teams. We need to create pockets like this in Johor, Perak, and all that, and make this happen. At the same time, to be fair to the other team also, who has been going around giving food, because at that moment, what is really needed at that moment is food, and they don't have. So what can you do? So this is also another big important thing that for us to do. So we have just examined two of these activities, but the purpose of that is to not just to highlight the activity, but to reflect it in this so-called words that Bhagavan has chosen. But on the Thursday's one is going to be something very, very amazing. It's something that I think is very, very critically needed. And it is something that will come out, and I can show you something good will come out on Thursday. I hope to see all of you on Thursday.
Brother, you're keeping me on my toes, lah. What is the next one going to be? But I'll tell you one thing. The youths today are so different from the youth of my days. You know, I have trained about 300 odd students for Balavikas, and they don't speak like the way your girls are speaking. That's very good. That's the way forward. We must do that. Yes, confidence in that. Vijay said she's going to say only one word. I hope she gives that.
Sairam Suresh, I would like to thank and salute the parents of these girls who have been volunteering to do the VIP work.
Yes.
Not only the parents, their brothers, their relatives, their friends, because during my time when I was a senior teenager, wanted to do something like this, and there was so much of objection from the family that we couldn't go out and do anything. But I salute not only the girls, of course it is their wish, their perseverance, their will, but also thank the parents and the family for letting them go. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sairam, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll finish off with 1 Om and 3 Shanti. Maunam, Dhyanam, Pranavam. Oh. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, Sairam, Sairam. See you all on Thursday. Come together. I hope you come faster because we're getting more and more service coordinators to come. I hope Brother Mohana will be there because he's supposed to receive this thing that we are offering him. We are giving to the VP of service, and hope he will accept it. So see you all on Thursday. Sairam.
Sairam, Suresh Bhai from London. Thank you.
Sairam, people from London. I hope things are okay down there, London. People from London. I hope all of you are okay.
Yes, we are okay. Thank you so much. They are indeed our angels.
Oh yeah, brilliant. Great. Spread the word around and let more people. Let more
quite a lot. They are indeed our, thanks them personally from us from UK. They are our angels from heaven. Baba's children, definitely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. See you. Take care.
Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam.